नमस्कार बच्चों, आप सभी को इस वर्चुअल क्लास में स्वागत है। स्टूडेंट्स, टुडे in this episode we will be studying about the money and supply of money in our country. We will study how money came into origin and how these money are being supplied in an economy. Students, we know that human wants are unlimited. जिसे हम कह सकते हैं कि मनुष्य की जो आवश्यकता है ये आवश्यकता असीमित होती है और इन आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करने के लिए हमारे पास जो संसाधन है ये संसाधन सीमित होते हैं। हमने ये भी पढ़ा है कि ये संसाधन सिर्फ सीमित नहीं होती है बल्कि इनके वैकल्पिक प्रयोग भी होते हैं। तो जैसे जैसे हमारे समाज में, हमारे अर्थव्यवस्था में मनुष्य अपनी मांगों को आपस में एक दूसरे से बांट कर अपनी आवश्यकता को पूरा करते थे, वैसे ही हम यह जानने की कोशिश करेंगे कि मनुष्य कैसे अपनी आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करते थे और उनके आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करने के लिए जो माध्यम होती थी, यह माध्यम क्या था। So students, you have learned about the early civilizations. So in the beginning of our civilization, you have read about barter system. So in that system, what we have studied that in the early time, human beings are being called as nomads. What are nomads? जिन्हें हम खानाबदोश कहते थे। That means the human beings, they do not settle in a certain place for a longer period of time. कहने का अर्थ है कि कहने का अर्थ ये है, पौराणिक काल में मनुष्य एक जगह से दूसरी जगह तक बार बार वो अपने रहने के स्थान को बदलते रहते थे। इनका कारण क्या था? To survive, जीवित रहने के लिए। So to survive, the human being used to roam from one place to another place every day and every period. Why? Because in search of food. So only with the help of availability of food they can survive in this planet. So they become nomads. They used to roam from one place to another. But later on, when the civilization developed, when they become civilized, at that time they try to settle in a certain place for a longer period of time. Take an example, all the civilization have been developed around the river banks. Why they are developed in the river banks? Because due to the availability of water, due to the fresh water. So by this way, they started the process of cultivation. And after that, gradually, they developed themselves and they invent many more equipments for their higher living. So at that time, what we have seen that the people used to exchange their goods with one another, because a human being cannot produce all the goods which he needs. So whatever the things have been produced by a person is being exchanged for a good with another person. Take an example, if a person is cultivating rice or paddy, so that will be exchanged with a person who is having in cattle or any other good. So by the way of exchange with one another, the system of barter, that barter system have came into existence. Because by this way, they can very easily able to fulfill their needs. Because as I told you that a single person cannot produce all those necessity goods which he need for his survival. So by this way, what we can see that in the beginning of the civilization, the system of exchange, exchanging the goods have been started to fulfill their needs. But as the civilization grown, as the population increased, we have seen that the system of exchanging goods for goods become difficult. So at this barter system, the problem of coincidence occurred. So that brought a new system or new medium of exchange that is being called as money. So by the help of money only, thereafter, the things, the commodity which are being produced by these persons, they have been exchanged with one another. That means with the help of money only, we can exchange one good with the other good with another person, or we can fulfill our needs. So in India, we use rupee as our currency, as our money. Take an example of America, there dollar is being used as their money. So these are the currencies which are being utilized in many countries. So like that, all the countries in the world, they use their own currency. for purchasing goods or services from the market. Okay students, now we'll see about the origin of money. We know that our wants are not simple, they are multiple. When our wants are multiple, as I told you that a single person cannot produce or exchange all those goods which is being needed for his self-satisfaction. So to fulfill his need, he has to exchange the goods with the other person, with the other producer. So at that time what we have seen that in the previous days, barter system was used as exchanging the goods with one another. But it was found inefficient. So due to the inefficiency of barter system, money was invented. So by the invention of money, the exchange become very easy, such that the people can very easily exchange their goods with the other person and they can very easily fulfill all their needs in the economy. So when the money was invented, at that time the money coins are being made up of gold, silver, and even the coins are being made up of alloy metals. And now we know that we are using the paper money. And apart from paper money, today we are living in the world where we are using the plastic money. So what do you mean by plastic money? All the cash cards, the credit card and debit cards, these cards are being classified as the plastic money. Or even we have the e-money in the form of electronic transfers. So students, you know about the money, how the money is being utilized nowadays. If you want to transfer a money, if you want to receive money from someone, we have many ways. If you want to send a money, we can very easily send money through our bank transaction, that is by direct deposits. And apart from, if you don't want to handle the cash, if you don't want to transfer the cash, at that time we can use our debit card or credit cards. With the help of this credit card and debit cards, we can very easily send our money to anyone, to any person in this world. And apart from, we have the banking networks, that is internet banking. So with the way of internet banking also, we can send our money to any corner of this world. That is being called as e-money. So where we cannot see any kind of cash handling or any kind of money, the tangible money in our hand, even though very easily we can send or we can receive money from any corner of this world. Apart from this, nowadays we have many kind of apps in our mobile phones. We have Paytm, we have Google Pay, Phone Pay, we have UPI IDs. So with the help of all these transactions, we can very easily do all those money transactions in our economy. So students, simply you just imagine about the early time when the people used to exchange their goods for good with one another. But now in the 21st century, we can see that money is being utilized as the medium of exchange of goods between two persons or within the economy, and even the money can be transferred from one person to another person in many ways. So by this we can very easily understand that how the money came into origin, what is the necessity of inventing money in our economy. Okay, after this, now we will discuss about some basic functions of money. So as money is being invented as a medium of exchange, the first function of money is that it acts as a medium of exchange. So previously when the goods have been exchanged with goods, at that time we have faced the problem of coincidence. But this problem has been eradicated by getting the money as the medium of exchange. By the help of money, we can very easily exchange our goods with another good or with the other producer. So that is the basic thing about the money. So money acts as a medium of exchange. Second one, money acts as a store of value. As you know that in the CC economy, that is commodity for commodity economy, where that is the barter system, we cannot store the value of these commodities. Take an example of the perishable goods. All those perishable goods produced by the farmer, it had to be sold in a short span of time in the market. If the farmer fails to sell all these goods in the market, that perishable goods cannot be stored for a long period of time. So students, here when we have the money as the medium of exchange, so that can store the value of these commodities. by selling these commodity to the other person in an economy, the commodity's value can be transformed into the value of money. So at that time we can very easily store the money in the form of coins or the notes. So that is the second basic thing, that the money acts as a store of value. Then after we can see that money acts as a measures of value. So the value of the commodity can be expressed in the value of money. So whatever the commodity is being produced, that commodity has a certain value of money. Take an example, if a goldsmith produces a ring, so that ring has a specific value, money value in that market. At the same time, the paddies or the cereals which are being produced by the farmers, they also have some sort of value of money in the economy. So all that production made by the farmers and made by the producers have a specific money value in the market. So that can be only measured with the help of money only. So when we have the money in our market, we can measure that commodity's value in terms of money. And at last what we can see, that the money is being used as standard for deferred payment. What are deferred payment? Deferred payments are those kind of payment which are made sometimes in the future. So though we are making deal today, but the payment will be made in future. So here the money is being used as the standard for deferred payments. So at last we can say that money is what it does. Therefore, it is defined as an instrument that serves as a medium of exchange, store of value, a measure of value, and a standard for deferred payment. So these are the basic functions of money which we can see here. Okay students, now we'll detailedly see about the features of a barter system. So as I studied that in the previous days, people used to exchange their goods and they used to fulfill their needs by exchanging their goods with the other person. So that system is called as barter system. And this system of exchanging goods for goods is also being called as CC economy. So what do you mean by CC economy? CC economy is that economy where the commodity is being exchanged for commodity. That is commodity for commodity economy. So in this economy, people used to exchange their goods with the other producer for the another good. Take an example, if a farmer is producing any vegetable, so that vegetable will be exchanged with another producer, where these vegetables will be exchanged for some cereals. So by this way, both the person can fulfill their needs by exchanging their goods with each other. So that is a system of barter where we can see that people very easily exchange their goods for goods. But in this system, again, as I told you, that problem of coincidence arises. That is what, if I am producing a vegetable, at the same time it is not necessary that if I want to purchase some cereals or rice or wheat from the market, but the person who is having the wheat or paddy with him, but he may not require the vegetable which I have in my hand. So by this way we can say that the problem of coincidence arises in the economy, where the goods which are being produced by one person may not be required by another purchaser who is ready to purchase the commodity in the market, but that will not be demanded by this person. So here the problem of coincidence arises in the economy. So then, as I told you, we have invented the money. So at that time, money acts as a medium of exchange. Though in the early time of civilization, we could see that the barter system is one of the basic system of exchange of goods and services within the economy. But later on, as the money is being invented, so now we will study about why, what are the drawbacks, what are the demerits of barter system.
Okay students, now we'll study about some drawbacks of the barter system. So at first we have the double coincidence of wants. So what do you mean by double coincidence of want? So double coincidence of want is a core characteristics of the barter system of exchange. So here the double coincidence of want implies that at a point of time when two individuals are in possession of such good which they are willing to exchange for the satisfaction of their wants, but it is not always so simple. It is not so simple to find a person who wants your horse and at the same time has a cow that you want to buy. Accordingly, under the barter system, exchange remained extremely limited, where we could not able to fulfill our needs by getting the our desired goods from some another person. So, with the emergence of money as a medium of exchange, the problem of double coincidence of wants has vanished. So, the double coincidence of wants can be eradicated by the origin of money in the economy. Secondly, we can see that lack of a common unit of value. So, in the barter system of exchange, the lack of common unit of value we can very easily find where, take an example, if someone was asking you what is the value of your car, so at that time what you will reply? You may reply it may be 5 lakh or 6 lakh. So can you imagine, so what is your answer if you are surviving in a barter system of exchange? So at that time certainly we could not able to say the value of a car as 5 to 6 lakh. So it is not certainly possible. So under such system, your car would be valued in terms of horses, cows or buffaloes, simply because there is no money or a common unit of value. So by the evolution of money in the economy, it gives us a common unit of value. Therefore, a system of accounting is being designed in an economy where we can very easily set a common unit of value for exchanging the commodities in the economy. Then thirdly, we can see difficulty of future payment or contractual payment, or we can say deferred payment. Take an example. These days, when you hire a worker or strike a contract to pay him rupees 10,000 per month, so it is possible nowadays where we can hire a person and by the contractual agreement with this person, after the completion of the said work, we can pay him the decided amount. But what do you do in barter system? Would you decide to pay him in terms of tables or chairs or in terms of rice or wheat? So it is not possible in the barter system of exchange. So the contractual or the future payment or the deferred payment would certainly be very difficult under the barter system of exchange. So students, due to the evolution of money, this has facilitated the contractual or the deferred payment in the economy. The fourth drawback of the barter system is difficulty of storage of value, that is saving. Students, you know that in CC economy where the goods are being exchanged for goods. So when the goods are being exchanged for goods, so do you imagine the situation where how we can store our value? That means the value of the commodity. So it is not possible by the way of storing the goods for a longer period of time, and it involves substantial storage cost as well as the fear of capital loss owing to the natural disaster. So in the barter system of exchange, it is very difficult to store the value of the commodity which are being produced in the economy. So it is the one of the most important difficulty in the barter system of exchange, where we could not able to store the value of the commodity produced. And at last, we have the difficulty of transfer of value. The students, in the barter system of exchange, we could not able to transfer the value of our commodity. The commodity value cannot be transferred very easily. So what if happens if you are to transfer your saving from one place to another? Obviously, you are to transfer the goods, because in this system we don't have any kind of any other medium of exchange. So here the transfer of value, the commodity value, becomes very difficult task besides being expensive. So here we could not able to transfer our commodity value from one place to another place or from one person to another. So only because of the evolution of money has made the storage and transfer of the values much easier. So students, the transfer of value of commodity is so difficult in the barter system of exchange. So students, so far we have discussed about the drawbacks of the barter system. So in the beginning we have seen about the double coincidence of want, where the two individuals are possessing of such goods which they are willing to exchange for the satisfaction of their want. So at that point of time the double coincidence of wants arises. Then we have seen about the lack of common unit of value, where we could not able to express the commodity value in a common unit value. In the barter system of exchange, the problem arises in the future payment or in the deferred payment. So the deferred payments could not be easy in the barter system of exchange because we could not able to pay him in terms of money, where we had to decide where in the barter system we have to pay them in terms of any kind of commodity. And the fourth one, we have seen that there is a difficulty of storage of value, that is the saving. So in the CC economy we could not able to save the commodity value. Then at last what we have seen that there is the problem of transfer of value. So by the evolution of money we can very easily transfer the values of our commodity which has been produced and to be sold in the market.
Okay students, now we will study about the forms of money. So as the money is being invented in the economy, now we will see some forms of money in our economy. First one is fiat and fiduciary money. What do you mean by fiat money and the fiduciary money? Fiat monies are those money which are being issued by order or authority of a government. So it will include all those money, the money in coins, the money in paper, which are being issued by the government, by a country's government for the economical transactions. So all this money which are being issued by the government will be termed as the fiat money. And after that we have a fiduciary money. What do you mean by fiduciary money? Fiduciary monies are those money which are being exchanged between a two person on the basis of trust. That means take an example of checks or the bonds. When the checks and bonds are being signed between two persons, two buyers and sellers, at that time these payments are made on the trust. That is the trust between these two persons. So here the actual money is not being transferred between these persons. They are not holding any kind of cash or any kind of coins with them to exchange the money for a commodity. But here in place of the cash or in place of the coins, they use the paper leaves, the leaves which are being issued by the bank, or the bonds which are being issued by the court. So by the way of checks and bonds, all the transactions, the economic transactions are being made in the economy. So this money is being called as what? Fiduciary money. And apart from this, we have one more form of money that we call it as full-bodied money and credit money. So what do you mean by full-bodied money? Students, you know that when we use money, generally we have coins in our hand. So have you seen the coins? So whenever these coins are being utilized as money in an economy, so these coins are being made up of some commodity. Take an example, the coins are being made of gold. As I told you, it may be made of gold, silver or any alloy metal. So in full-bodied money, what we can see here that these coins, the commodity value of these coins will be exactly equal to the money value. The coins value, the coins whose commodity value will be equal to the money value. But in credit money, what we can see is that the credit money are those money which money value will be more than the commodity value. That means in full-bodied money, take an example of a 1 rupee coin. So that coin is made up of some alloy metal with the silver. So the commodity value of that alloy or that silver will be equal to the money value of the commodity. That means if the coin is equal to 1 rupee, but it doesn't mean that the commodity which are being utilized for the production of that coin will be exactly equal to 1 rupee. So that is what the credit money. Here what we can see that the credit monies are those money which have more value than the commodity value. So far we have studied about the two forms of money, that is fiat money and fiduciary money. Fiat monies are those money which are issued by the government, by the order of government. But the fiduciary monies are those money which are being made between two persons, buyers and sellers, based on their trust. That is by the way of checks. And after that we have studied about the full-bodied money and credit money. Full-bodied money means what? Those money whose commodity value will be equal to the money value, and credit money where the money value is more than the commodity value. So these are the basic forms of money which we can see in our country. Okay students, that's all for today. So based on today's learning, I have given some homework and I hope you can do this homework very easily at your home. So note down this homework.
Okay students, note on the home assignment. Look at the first question. What is barter system of exchange? Question number 2. Define CC economy. Third one, what do you mean by money? And then the fourth question, explain the types or explain the forms of money in the economy. And the last question, you have to differentiate between full-bodied money and the credit money.
Okay students, that's all for today. We will meet in the next episode with the remaining concepts of money and supply of money in our country. So until then, keep learning, stay safe. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.